Hey, my name is Bboy Tranquil and welcome to Tranquil TV. This is the second episode in the Inspiration series, and in this series I talk about things that changed my life, people I met that inspired me and, formed my way of thinking. So I want to talk about someone who's been really important to me in my younger days and who really influenced me. And when I look back at it now, I can see why it was influenced even more than I thought at the time. And this is a special person because it was a Bgirl, and in fact this was the first real Bgirl I ever met, like a serious Bgirl, and it also that formed the way I shape my views on women as well, in some cases as well. And even today now, being in a crew with three other women, and a girl and two other women, got Fox, Labyrinth and Spider and stuff, my views of them and where their limits and things like that, is formed from some of the things I've seen back in the day. So I'm going to talk about the moment when I met Firefly, and how that changed the way I used to think and things like that. Being a young kid, I was probably about 15 at this time, and we used to train at somewhere called the YMCA, and we used to practice there. And I'd already met someone called Tenton by this time, and I'll talk about him later. I'm going to try and keep it just specific to this moment. But there was a company, I think it was called DPA, and they came and it was booked at the venue, and it was Roy and Andrea. They're married now, but there wasn't at the time, and she's called Firefly, Bgirl Firefly. And they did this workshop, and obviously, like I said, we didn't have any DVDs or any access to see anything really from around the world and things like that. And Firefly came in, and I remember me and my mate from a crew and that, and we were just looking at her, trying to suss her out, is she, who's this, is she good, whatever, just typical B-boy ways of being a young B-boy, you're a bit cocky, a bit thinking, what's she gonna do, and stuff like that. And then she started dancing, and I hadn't even seen a guy dance like, the way she was dancing. I mean, some of the things she could do, like, she had all the other type of moves, she had some of the other elements, different freezes and new shapes and cool footwork that I'd never seen before, nice top rock steps and, cool flips as well. She was amazing, and I remember me and my friend was just like, we was well shocked, and we was just like, right, do you know what I mean? This is crazy now, we need to learn some things off her. Obviously, we couldn't even do anything hardly ourselves. I've been breaking for a long time, about 16 years, but the first 5 years, I really don't know what was going on there. But it's probably just because we didn't have the outside influences at certain points. We couldn't learn as much, and it was just like a one-off thing. I remember we tried to learn like a jump back move, which I'm going to be teaching you in the tutorials later on, and there was no chance of that anyway. But seeing her skill level being so high, and being a Bgirl, it was just really, it opened our eyes, especially my eyes, and I could just see that for women, anything is possible, just the same as a guy. Because up to that point, at school and things, you have girl push-ups, and the boys do the boy push-ups, and things like that, which really, then I'm meeting this woman who's a lot, she's older than me. I think she would have been around her 20s, and I'm only 15, 14, and she can do everything that I've seen a guy do, and a lot of it she can do better as well. So that changed my whole mindset then from there on. And when I meet and it's not even just when I meet any kid and I'm teaching them, I just look at them for who they are and where they're at that point, and then just work from there. But the sky is the limit with anybody, and you should never think to yourself, this is just I can only go this far, or I'm only got this body type, or I'm only like this or that. You should be don't set limits that the world sometimes sets on you and things like that. After that, when I met Firefly, then, and I didn't see her again for about 3 or 4 years or something like that, and you know, and we were behind on everything we saw. So just if something happened in 2002, you know, I saw it usually sometime, you know, maybe in 2004 and stuff like that. So that year after she'd done that thing, she kind of blew up in the world scene. She was part of the UK All Stars. She'd done the UK B-Boy solo. She started to win Mighty Four. I remember that I saw some of these things in between the time of, you know, in between her when she came and did the workshop and when I met her again, and I was just thinking, wow, look at what she's doing. You know, she's traveling the world, she's killing it, and you know, she also had the sponsor by Tribal and stuff like that. So, you know, it was a big deal, and you know, that for me, you know, watching her go around the world, I knew that that's something I wanted for myself. I've got loads of stories about Firefly as well, because, you know, later on we became really good friends, and, you know, some of my best jobs I've done, we've done together and things like that. And you know, Roy as well, you know, he's a good friend of mine as well, husband, and you know, we all chill quite regular. So I just want to say hi to Firefly, hello, and you know, thank you for those days of, you know, being inspirational. Just that one time can affect, you know, a lot of different things which you don't always realise, but you know, when you think about it properly, sometimes you can see where influence or where you could be inspired and stuff like that. So as I was saying, Firefly was sponsored by this brand. If you know what this is, then, you know, I consider you a real B-boy or a real Bgirl. If you don't know what this is, then, you know, I guess you're just too young to know that. But this was a big deal back in the day. It's one of the first B-boy brands, you know, well, ones that, you know, had a lot of B-boy influences and around the culture as well. And this is before like B-boy Spot or Legits and things like that, which are doing well now. But, you know, this is like an early, you know, really early day thing, and it was great. And to see her sponsored by something so big as well, you know, the sky is the limit when you see that. And she's, you know, she used to go to jams and sell the gear and then battle and kill it there as well. So she was winning, and she was on top form. I think, like I said in the other video, you need to talk about things that did inspire you and the things just behind the dance, because the dance is the dance on its own is nothing, but the culture with the dance, you know, it's hip hop. That's what makes breaking special. Otherwise, it's, you know, it's got nothing behind it. You know, that's what I feel is a special thing about breaking, that when people see it, they don't just see the movements, because, you know, in gymnastics there's the movements as well, and there's other things which have the movement, but there's this attraction to hip hop culture because of the community and everything about it. So just dancing all the time is not part of, you know, that you've got to get involved in the culture in the sense of, you know, knowing what hip hop is about, and that's what I want to teach you and want to inspire you about and, you know, speak about. So hopefully this will remind you of someone who really inspired you, or maybe a big girl from your hometown or wherever, you know, around your country or anything like that. You know, shout out to them. You know, it's good to give people props, you know, because sometimes you think about things in your head and you're like, oh, that's, you know, they're great, that person's great, I'm so happy they did that, and then the thought goes out of your mind, you don't really say anything about it. But I think, you know, it's good to give props. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did enjoy this episode, please like and subscribe, don't forget to do that, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.